he gives these 5 ideas for enhancing innovation in your company. The first one is to expand the scope of employees. Use people at all levels of the company. Often people at the lower levels of the company feel powerless to initiate change through rigid policies, tight timelines and limits, and lack of self-directed time. He suggests we redesign management systems to facilitate local experimentation and bottom-up initiatives, something we can all do at absolutely no cost. Secondly, he talks about the quality of decision-making and says often decisions are made at the top level of the company. We need a new decision-making process that captures a variety of views. In this world of complexity and ambiguity, one opinion is absolutely not enough, and we need to exploit the organization's collective wisdom and find out what those different opinions are. Thirdly, he says we need to unleash human imagination and equip people with innovative tools. Give them time to set aside time and give them time for thinking. Destigmatize failure in your organization. We have to make failure acceptable, provided we learn and we create. Don't institutionalize creativity, but make it part of the flow of your business. He also suggests we nurture innovation in every corner of the business. Passion is a multiplier of human accomplishment, and Hamill says most employees are disengaged at work and unfulfilled. Allow individuals to find a higher calling in their work. Help individuals to connect who share similar passions. And finally, we need to retool management leaders so that they can energize the company. They need to humanize the languages and practices of business, retrain their minds with new skills in terms of creativity. So these ideas very much follow along the lines of the ideas of Lafley at Procter & Gamble. So what do these innovators look like? This article from Harvard Business Review points it out very, very strongly. In some ways, it's slightly contradictory, but I think what it does, it lets us see that both the left analytical part of the brain and the right, more emotive and creative part of the brain are really important. Innovators are people who don't sit back on their laurels. They just keep framing and reframing challenges until they come up with solutions. They're also ridiculously social aware, which means that they're able to connect with people. They're able to influence constituents of people and make things happen through influencing numbers of people in the organization. So now that we know a little more about what innovation looks like in action and how difficult it is to actually get it into and part of our company, we're going to talk a little bit more about the tools for innovation. And we've got 3 tools, but we've also got a poll question. And I think we'll launch this poll question before we go to this slide. Can we do that, Martin? Yes, okay. So Martin's going to launch our poll question for you. So the next slides are going to cover topics about brainstorming, Scamper as an innovative tool, the De Bono 6 thinking hats, and mind map, or mind mapping. So you will have the opportunity to answer this question. Are you using these innovation tools in your company? You will be able to check off as many as 4 of them, so you can check off all of them if you are using them. So we want to give you a couple of minutes to take this poll, just so we can see what level of use these tools are in within your organizations and what sort of role they're playing. So take a moment now and enter your answers into the poll. Okay, folks, we're closing the poll, and let's see how we did with this. So fantastic. We've got some strengths and we've also got some opportunities. I think good old brainstorming, we're mostly familiar with that, and we can see that 94% of you are very comfortable and using this often. Scamper is a really neat tool which I'm going to share with you. I also love the De Bono 6 thinking hats, but those are two we're not using as much, so we'll spend a little more time on those. Mind mapping is being used well, maybe underutilized. I've got a great reference for you for mind mapping. So let's go back to brainstorming and just touch on a couple of the important pieces around facilitating a good brainstorm. This is a great list from IDEO, and just a reminder to all of us that building a culture of brainstorming is a really great start towards nurturing a culture of innovation. And I think we're pretty familiar with these guidelines for brainstorming, but not a bad thing to remind folks in a brainstorming about what we're doing. You're going for quantity, and then you're refining. You're not judging. With 94% of you using brainstorming as an innovative tool, I think we'll move right along and talk a little bit about Scamper. Scamper is another tool for innovation, and it's really a technique for lateral thinking. And the letters Scamper each stand for a particular methodology or tool you can use in terms of coming up with great ideas. So the S stands for substitute. And so really the questions you could ask are, can we substitute components? Can we substitute materials? Can we substitute people? The C stands for combine. So how would we combine things differently if we could? The A stands for adapt. So how could we adapt what we're currently doing? The M stands for modify. Could we alter or change the function or use part of another element? Could we actually put this to another use? Is there something we could actually eliminate? Could we remove elements? Could we simplify? Could we reduce things down to their core functionality? The one I like a lot is the reversal. So reverse says, can we turn this inside out or upside down? Reversal involves asking the opposite question to the one you want to ask. So if you are intent on improving customer service, you could ask the opposite question. How could I reduce customer service? Maybe the top bullet on your list would be not answer the telephone. That would pretty much reduce customer service. Then you can take each of your bullets and address each one to reverse the effects and ensure good customer service. So instead of not answering the telephone, maybe the reverse is to answer the telephone in 3 rings with a very pleasant voice. If you type this word Scamper into the internet, you can get a lot more information. It's the original creation of Bob Eberle, and I think it's an extremely useful tool if we're stuck. If we're stuck on a problem, if we can't get creative ideas going, we can start with what we have currently and apply the Scamper techniques. The next one is going to take us through the 6 thinking hats of De Bono. Now, not too many of you were using these, but I think these are also an exciting way to explore different perspectives towards a complex challenge. The important thing is that the hats are categories of thinking behavior. They are not categories of people. So the white hat represents information and facts, presenting the facts in a very neutral way. The black hat says, is there anything we're missing? What is the worst case scenario? What would be a pessimistic approach? The blue hat is all about controlling the